Hello, my name is Nathaniel and I'm a photographer. I've had the incredible fortune to be able to travel and photograph the world. And so I wanted to create this video with the dual purpose of sharing my love and passion for photography paired with travel. And also I wanted to share some of the things that I learned and wish that I had known a few years ago as I was starting to get more serious with photography. I truly believe that photography has deepened and enhanced my experiences wherever I've gone in the world, including in my own hometown. I find that it's an amazing way to peer deeper into wherever it is that you are. So I think that's a good segue to my first point, which is to treat touristy and iconic locations with extreme caution. Okay, so what do I mean by that? I have a prime example to sort of illustrate my point. A few years ago when I was traveling in Israel, I was just blown away by the sights and the sounds, and it was so different from anything that I was used to, and there was a lot of intense religious energy in the air, and the people were just fascinating. Back then I hadn't really dived into or explored street photography, and so when I was in Jerusalem, I remember just taking photos of some of the iconic spots, like the Dome of the Rock, right? And it's an incredible piece of architecture and an incredible location, but looking at this photo, there's no story being told here. Nothing that the viewer can walk away from other than, oh wow, that looks pretty. Part of the problem is that everybody's taking this photo. Given the chance, if you're in Paris, you're gonna take a photo of the Eiffel Tower. If you're in San Francisco, you're gonna take a photo of the Golden Gate Bridge. And so there's nothing original about this. I really wish I had gone out and captured moments of the people, there was so much going on, so many interesting moments that I could have captured. I was in Chile this year when I captured this image, and even though it's imperfect, I'm much happier with it than I am with the one that I took in Israel because there's a story here for me. It feels real. If you absolutely must photograph some of the iconic spots that you're visiting, because who wouldn't, right? It would be silly not to. I would just say maybe think about trying to approach it from an original point of view. Looking at things from a different angle can really alter the story that's being told, the message that is conveyed by that image. I remember reading this article about this photographer, Oliver Curtis, who would travel to all these super iconic locations around the world and then take a photo in the other direction. I think that's genius. I wish I had thought of that. So here's some examples of some of my older photos that I took that I think are kind of unoriginal. Funny story, I printed some of these photos on my business cards a long time ago because I thought they were so great. Here's an example of a photo that I took that I think tells maybe a little bit more of a story of a country than an iconic location. So this is a photo that I took when I was in Italy. So the next point I want to make is that it's hard to overstate how important it is to take your time to capture the perfect shot. This is something that I wish I had not just known, but really taken seriously years ago. This is a photo that I captured while exploring Granada, Spain, and I just stumbled on this alley and immediately saw the beautiful lighting that was there, but there was still something lacking, right? It still needed a subject. So on one hand, yeah, I got lucky because a couple walked through and landed perfectly in that lighting, and that was not orchestrated. I did not put them there. But on the other hand, it was definitely premeditated because I was prepared. I stood there and waited and got my framing and my exposure set and waited for 5 or 10 minutes for that to happen. Looking back, I can see that it was so foolish of me to rush things. One standout photo like this one is more important to me than 1,000 kind of mediocre photos that I just snap with my phone. My third lesson is to always have a camera with you. On the other end of the spectrum from waiting a long time for a photo, some of my favorite images that I've ever captured were thanks to the fact that I had a camera in my hands and I was able to capture something that was about to happen or already happening before me. I basically had to react really quickly to immortalize that moment. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. The alignment of these 3 dogs could not have been orchestrated, okay? These were not my dogs, but I remember turning around and seeing this composition and knowing I had to snap it immediately. Now, for some people, phone photography, right? Your smartphone that you have with you at all times is good enough, and that's fantastic. Phones have gotten really good and you can take great images with them. But for me, I find that I'm a little bit lazy with my phone and with the photography that I take with it. Just for me personally, I love the incredible quality of the Fujifilm X series cameras. Not sponsored by them in any way, I haven't been paid to say this. I just love using them, and I love their compactness and their portability and the incredible quality that they are able to produce. I traveled through Europe this year with an X100F, and I'm about to buy an XE3. So I'll link both of those down below if you want to check them out. Anyway, so being in that mode and in that mindset was what allowed me to react quickly and capture these moments. Here's another example. I remember standing here, I think it was sitting actually, for at least 15 minutes waiting for the right subject, the right composition, and not giving up until I got what I knew I could potentially get. And finally, I would just say to shoot a lot. I think it's extremely important to be both consistent and persistent as a photographer. It took me forever to develop my look and style, and honestly it continues to evolve to this day. And now it's become kind of a fun challenge to push myself to grow and improve on what I've already done. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to make this video today. I will reiterate what I said earlier, it's totally worth it exploring and deepening your understanding of photography. For me, it has totally enhanced and added to my experiences abroad. One standout photo, for me, is more valuable than 1,000 mediocre shots. Alright, thanks for watching. I will leave you with some of my favorite shots from my travels. I welcome any and all feedback.